like working in an IT company and working in a manufacturing company, was a very different experience. So can you share in detail, like what did you find it different? And what was good in IT and what was good in manufacturing and what was challenging in IT and what was challenging in manufacturing? And if at all, if you have to choose one to set up a permanent career, which one you will go for?
Okay, sure. So let me first give the goods of both the sectors, IT and manufacturing. And these goods can be negatives of the other as well. Okay. Now, IT is a very process-driven company. So there is certainty to a process. Okay. So, for example, if a campus hiring is happening, it will happen this way, at least for the next 1 to 3 years, because changing that process requires a lot of effort, lot of change management. So there is certainty in processes in a IT setup.
But Shakti, I think that is also dependent upon the size of the company.
Yes,
Not just
that
with
I
IT, है ना? Not
yeah.
not applied overall IT, but yeah, IT with big,
Yes, big
size.
IT setups for
Correct.
sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I say between a manufacturing and a IT, my comparison is
That's big
primarily
company.
on the strength, because IT services generally are big size companies where if the processes are not in place and if they are not robust, the organization will face a lot of problems
Mm,
because the time to change is quite high.
mm.
So as a HR, you need to understand what kind of organization you are in, what is the size of the organization that you are in, and what is the hierarchy that you need to follow. So
And Shakti, this is very important because, for some kind of personality, who are very creative, who have an entrepreneurship mindset, this is very, very, I would say disturbing. you know you know that I know that, and so that is something one should always consider while making a decision of choosing a company.
for sure. So when you are moving to a company, you should do your thorough research, understand what the organization is like. See, while you may not know exactly the culture of it, but by the revenue size, but the volume size, or by the reviews that you find online, you will be able to have a basic understanding of how the organization could be. Okay. Now, it may or may not vary, but at least you can have a basic understanding. So, for example, if there is an organization of a size of 20,000 odd people, and if the revenue size is lower, say, for example, the organization has a business of, I don't know, $1 billion. Okay. And the size is 20,000 or 15,000 odd people, it is still a lean organization to run a business of that size. But if the headcount size is 20,000 and the business is, say, 500 or $200 million, it means the business headcount is quite high. It is manpower intensive, but the revenue is not that high. Okay. Now, when you see this kind of setup, this setup would not be too progressive in terms of benefits, policies, because their idea is to be labor intensive and make still money. So how do they do that? They restrict on the high side of the budget. They have high hierarchy so that not everything goes through smoothly. It is by design. It is not that they are doing something wrong. It is by design that they have created that space because they know what their business is. But if a business is, say, high revenue, lean team, they know they have the capability to do
Mm,
more for the employees, keep this lean team more engaged, more productive, and still make that high volume of money or bring that high volume of business. There
mm,
you will have more creative space. You will have more options to explore. So you would know your personality the best. And if you think that you are not able to fit in a particular kind of setup, then you should not go into that setup because the setup won't change. You will have to adapt.
check. Correct.
So the first level of research for sure you will have to do. Take a
Mm.
call that what is the kind of setup and whether I am okay to go into that setup or not.
Correct. I think that makes a lot of sense, Shakti. The setup will not change. You have to change yourself.
Yeah, that is for sure. And to be honest, while no two companies are same, they are not too different as well. So it is, as I always say, it is just uh, the same wine in different bottles. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the bottles will change, the wine will remain the same.
Mm. Correct. Go ahead, Shakti. We're comparing the IT and manufacturing.
Yeah, yeah. So, IT, when I say large size IT companies have a lot of set processes, while defining those processes take time, but once they are defined, they stay there. But in a manufacturing setup, which is more leaner, there is a flexibility where you can be adapt to the market quite quickly. So, say for example, if there is something new happening in the market, uh, a manufacturing setup will adapt to it more quickly, and thus the people working with a manufacturing setup will have that opportunity to explore and grow. Whereas organizations which have a lot of hierarchy, they will take time to adapt, and they will take time to get there. But that being said, while manufacturing can quickly adapt, uh, their processes may not always be that streamlined, that mature. Because for a process to mature, you need to give it time, right? For any person to mature, you need to give it time. The same thing is for processes as well. If they don't mature, there will always be some lacunas, but you have to, as a HR professional, you have to decide what outweighs what. Does this maturity outweighs the benefits or the possibilities that you are creating for the organization, or are the benefits more important than the maturity of the process? So that is the major difference between these two industries.